Since this worked so well last time, let me try it again. Imagine this. Boxer stepping into the ring. The bell rings, ding, ding, ding. Opponent throws a left hook, but instead of, slipping the punch, Gada blocking, moving, leaning back, the boxer just closes his eyes, covers his ears, and yells, "If I can't see the punch, it's illegal for you to hit me." That boxer right now is the German government. Saudi Carbon, welcome to another episode here for the Fun Report, Mindful Media, Communication, apparently also governmental critique of my home government. Um, this is usually not a political podcast, and it still isn't. I'm just using this as an example of like how political communication could be handled a bit differently. Okay, so you know me, and well, since I usually talk about like the big things and try to analyze, how American politics shaping things. I thought, hey, I have enough of this for right now. Let me also talk about like my home country's politics because there's not like it's all awesome and like easy peasy and sunshine and rainbows. And so over the last few days, we had our Chancellor Friedrich Merz from the CDU, that's the party. He decided that the way to fix our, do I say completely broken? I wouldn't say that, but to fix like our completely broken media like ecology is to build a bureaucratic wall, because as Germans we're really good at it. Thailand, by the way, also very good at that. They just passed a motion to ban social media for kids under 14, requiring like strict state level digital ID verification to log into TikTok, notebook. Joking about any kind of socials. So far, it's just a motion passed by the ruling party, even supported by the coalition party, but it's not like a law yet, because those laws that are governing media are actually state laws in Germany, not a federal law. So all the states should, in theory, communicate. So let's see what happens, right? So, but today we're gonna look a little bit at the boomer illusion, I want to say, of control, because does this actually work? We're going to apply a little bit of Foucault. We're going to apply that to German tech and politics. We're going to apply a few other media theories to it. And I'm going to try to ask you what you think about the legislation, or can you legislate your way out of a technological paradigm shift? And I had my notes, and my notes, I was very proud of it, but now I'm like, can I actually call it? Like, hey, I made those notes, I'm going to stick to it, right? I was proud of it. I think in this case, German policy is a bit schizophrenic, to be honest. Because to me, it's a big contradiction. Like Germany recently, and I have it on my notes, launched a publicized Ministry for the Future to push space travel, quantum computing, and AI development. And then we're gonna try to block social media, for example. On one hand, the state wants to build a matrix. On the other hand, it wants to legally mandate that 13-year-olds are only allowed to look at trees. Cognitive dissonance at its best. And this is not to say that I'm not aware of the problems that social media brings, especially at an early age. Totally agree with that. Like, I'd rather not have kids spend all their time on socials, but it's also up to the parents, right? And if you, I mean, classic example, but if you prohibit something, people find a way around it. Don't you think that a 10-year-old figures out how to use a VPN? Especially if a friend does it already, or if their brother does it, or something like that, right? So please. So, because I think this is not about child protection. I'm all for keeping children safe. If it were about child protection, we would be funding like massive digital literacy programs in schools and educational institutions. This is just a bureaucratic panic move, panic attack. Moral panic is a communications theory. It fits perfectly, right? You want to just distract with panic, basically. The States has realized that it's completely lost the the narrative war to the algorithm, right? And the algorithm is faster, smarter, more seductive than the state. So the state responds the only way a 20th century bureaucracy can: paperwork and firewalls. You can use a fax to check the latest TikToks if you want to. And the thing is, again, I'm not against protecting children. I'm actually running a digital literacy program with my uni students for primary school children because we want to educate them on the dangers that social media brings. We're not saying ban it because we know what that means. If you ban it, parents think, well, it's banned, they can't use it. So parents spend less time educating kids on it as they already do. Kids will find a way around it and then they're even less protected. Theory time. I'm not mad, you're mad. Even my computer's mad right now, telling me the mic's not working, but it's working again. Okay. So my cat's mad too, if you hear it in the background. So there's a concept in theory, okay, called disciplinary power and spatial control from discipline and punish. And Foucault talked about it. Not the biggest Foucault fan per se, but sometimes things are applicable, okay? He taught us that traditional power works by organizing space. You put people in school, in a factory, or a prison, spaces. You categorize them, you watch them, you control the borders. Okay? So right now, my home country is trying to apply that 19th century physical border control to the 21st century digital space. We're gonna put a border around it. Australia did it, and it works. Does it? We don't even know yet. They just did it like last year. How do we know it works? Who knows it works? Because there are less accounts owned by 14-year-olds now or 13-year-olds, as if you can just, find your way around that. One more time, right? For the reality of the ban, what do you think happens when you tell a 13-year-old you can have it? You think, oh, okay. They say, okay, sure. They go outside and play outside the whole time with wooden blocks. They download a VPN. That's what they do. They buy a burner digital ID on Telegram. That's what they do. The state's trying to build a fence around the cloud. Yeah, but if you push this ban, the government isn't creating safety. It's creating a digital black market. It's driving the behavior that we right now is concerning, which I agree, but it's driving that behavior underground. Instead of raising a generation of digital citizens who are aware of it, who know how to navigate the space safely, we're trying to raise a generation of digital smugglers. So I want to try to stop hating on the band for a second and try to, offer another take, maybe a solution, so to speak. So the question is not how do we ban it better? The question is how do we actually protect people in this hyper-mediated world, right? And as you know, if you've watched previous podcast episodes, even if you just listen to the intro, I'm a fan of martial arts. I train Muay Thai like a lot. So let me use this metaphor, right? If you want a kid to know how to defend themselves in the real world, you don't lock them in a padded room until they're 18 and then throw them onto the street, right? You've been safe until now. There you go. You put them in a gym. You put glass on them. You teach them how to spar in a controlled environment, right? Yeah. We need digital sparring. We need to teach children, and not only children, everybody, children, you, me, older people, how an algorithm works, how dopamine hijacking works, how to spot synthetic outrage. You cannot protect someone by hiding the opponent. You protect them by teaching them how to fight back. Right? So, got quite heated in this regard because I think it's so important and I think it's a completely different direction right now. Because the government cannot act as your algorithm bouncer. The digital ID wall is gonna fail. Just like every other attempt failed to put the internet back into the box. And this podcast comes to you from a country that has tried it before also a lot. So what to do? Well, stop waiting for legislation to save your attention span. Okay? Build your own media literacy. Keep your guards up, teach others, help them build their media literacy. Do some digital sparring with them. Let them know what's happening. I know it's a very cute kind of idea of it all, but we can't rely on the government just banning stuff because we know it doesn't work. It's not gonna work. We have to do something. Let me know what you think. Do you think a ban is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? What are your thoughts? Shout out in the comments, at FunkyPod on social media. Until then, stay safe, keep your guard up, your digital one as well, and we talk next time. Bye, cat.